You are watching Revelations. We are the biggest spiritual platform. We help ourselves to learn here on this particular platform. My name is Maame Grace. I am Revelations. And today I am here with Papa Osofu KOFITSE AHADZIE. Who benya the best out of him. And he twe finimu saa kopinze ebe kofie na ebe kwa akwaje education no e wo ho no. He's learned, and I know you love him and you will learn something when he sits on this set. Once again, I welcome you to the biggest spiritual platform. Papa Mema Wakwaba, I welcome you to Revelations platform. Papa,
thank you.
You are teaching us about other Asian Kemet or Egyptian Kemet. I don't know which one is correct. We want to know about the Kemet.
Thank you. I will talk about Kemet or Kema. There are those who think that anything pronounced in the original language of the world is a taboo to them. Especially in this our setting we call the country of Ghana. Unfortunately, people have assumed the status of being judges in linguistics. And when you see how appointments are going on now, you will see that one particular linguistic group is dominating virtually everything, which is not quite palatable. But when we come to look at the names of the kings of ancient Kemet, then you come to look at the invasions which occurred leading up to the Greco-Roman invasion. Then we have people we call judges, justices. And then the justices, when you go to the law school, you're going to learn what? You're going to learn Latin. They will be teaching you Latin. Say ceteris paribus and all these things in Latin. But then you ask yourself, where did they get the judicial languages from? Who were those who wrote the first laws? They tell you in the Christian philosophy or theory that Moses went and climbed the Sinai hill and went and took the 10 Commandments from God, who was in a burning bush, isn't it? And then the 10 Commandments, when you look in the 42 laws, 42 negative confessions of the ancient Kemetians, you will see that the 10 Commandments are all in there. In our society, we abhor violence. We abhor killings. In the ancient scripts, they told you, thou must not kill. And then it comes to the Christian Bible, they say, thou shalt not kill. They say anything which has been offered to the gods or the deities, don't go and take it. Whatever belongs to your neighbor belongs to your neighbor, not to you. So you have no right to go and take those ones. And there are 42 negative confessions. You have to confess that you will not do these things. When you do it, you must have your punishment. And what do we see today? They know that the thing they are going to do is not correct. They will do it. Then the ancient Kemetians captured all this information, and it was taken away to Turin. And they called it the Turin Judicial Papyrus. What has been written on the black man's land by the black man in the temples, they have taken all that one and presented as their own. So now you're going to learn law, you must go and learn someone else's language. You want to speak one law, you are going to make reference to some British judgment or something. What of your own? Have you taken care of what you have? God is not discriminated. The Creator never discriminated against anybody, apart from the black man who thinks that he has been discriminated against. The construction of airplane was done by the black man. But what did they tell us? They told us that Icarus brothers from Greece, they were those who waxed feathers to their arms and launched the world into the aviation age just 100 and something years ago. Then the Americans also came and said the Wright brothers were those who went and climbed some of the Rocky Mountains, waxed feathers to their arms, and launched the world into the aviation age some 100 and something years ago. Then they came again. The Italians came and said Leonardo da Vinci was the first person to have flown an engine plane about 200 years ago. But then you go into the records and you will see that the ancient Cometians have flown wooden glider, flying in the wooden glider. Then they said they were flying in what? Yamavu, the vehicle which flies in the air. And that was about 2,000 years ago. You go to the Egyptian museum, you will see the sea-going vessel. And they call it Tojivu. Right? It's Tojivu because it moves on water. And they added the third one. Which is the third one? Transport system. You have the air. You have the water. You have a third one. The third one is the natural one. You will walk. Walking is the natural form of movement. Well, we have abandoned that one because we all want to be flying and be dancing in semicircles. As for motorbike, it is also a car, so you don't worry so much. But the three major forms, either you go by air, you go by water, or you go by foot. And our ancestors were footing. All the exodus, traveling and all this, they did on foot.
Why are they able to change all these things and we have accepted them?
Like I was asking you about the issue of so-called slave trading. When I come to your house and I'm holding AK-47, I say, everything that you have, give it to me. Will you refuse?
The gun has power.
Okay.
Nobody wants to die.
Nobody wants to die, but you all want to go to heaven. But you can't go to heaven without dying.
I want to die in my own time, Papa.
Who gave you some time to die?
Everybody will die. Are we not going to die one day?
You say you want to die at your own time.
When my God-given time is...
God drew a timetable for you.
Papa, are we not going to die one day?
No, I'm asking you.
Papa, are you the host?
Oh, I'm the hostess. You see that there is this thing called the Oxyrhynchus papyrus. When immediately they talk about papyrus, you should know where it comes from. It comes from Khmer. Papyrus is a plant which grows in flooding area. So when you move from the Abyssinian highlands and coming up to the delta, but before we reach there, see that we were talking about names. Then they call some place Mesopotamia. They call others Babylon. Babylon was a military camp. You know that one? And when those African Americans sang their song, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat when we remembered Sion. Where are the rivers? They will tell you Tigris and Euphrates. two rivers merging into one to enter into the sea. He said that's the rivers of Babylon. But when you have 7 branches of a river entering into the sea, how will you call that one? That should be the true rivers of Babylon. And when you read the Romanus Pontifex, you will be seeing that the issue they are bringing up is coming close home to you. But you don't believe that one because you have been given some black book. Now we have some red colors of the book. Some are green and some... And they call that one the Holy Bible, which is supposed to contain the words of God. But only they can't tell you where they met God and he wrote that thing for them. Which type of pen that God used in writing, they won't tell you. So these British people went to the Southern River Valley and they found first Ptolemy Philadelphus II. They tell you, when Ptolemy was being installed as the king of the Lower Egypt, they said he is being installed and he has become a king. He married a woman first. Then later on, he came and married his own biological sister. Why? He married his own biological sister, who was Cleopatra the 7th. Cleopatra the 7th was the concubine of the late Julius Caesar. And she gave birth to a child for Julius Caesar, known then as Caesarus. After Julius Caesar was killed, she married Mark Antony, gave birth to 4 children. Then came and married their own brother. And they said it was in accordance with the culture of the place. And that culture of the place was that when you are born as a man and you have a woman following you, that is your